It's the first, which sounds like a beginning but feels like an ending. You are sitting on the edge of your bed in a 340-square-foot apartment in Astoria, Queens, New York, holding your phone with both hands the way people hold things they are about to drop. The radiator is making that sound again, the one that arrived in October and apparently lives here now, rent-free, which is more than you can say for yourself. You open the banking app. You do this the way people remove a bandage, fast, before the hesitation catches up. The number on the screen is $214. You earn $67,000 a year. Let that sit for a moment. $67,000 a year sounds like a number that works. In most American cities, it does work. In Cincinnati, it works beautifully. In Austin, it works with some effort. In Denver, it works if you have a roommate and strong opinions about grocery store brands. In New York City, it arrives at your bank account after taxes as approximately $4,100 a month. Your rent is $2,150, which leaves $2,190, which sounds like enough until you itemize the $2,190. MetroCard, $132. Con Edison, $87. Phone, $45. Groceries, $380 if you are disciplined, which you mostly are, which means you have strong opinions about grocery store brands. Laundry, $40, because the building has machines that eat quarters with the enthusiasm of a casino. Student loan minimum, $287. Health insurance copays this month because your back has been doing that thing, $120. The occasional human pleasure of eating food someone else prepared, $210, which feels extravagant and is actually survival. That is $1,501, which leaves $449 for everything else that a life contains. The $214 on the screen is what remains after rent cleared this morning and before the next paycheck arrives on Friday. Friday is 3 days away. 3 days is not far. 3 days is also not close when your MetroCard needs reloading and the bodega downstairs has a $10 minimum for card purchases, and you have $214 and a very clear understanding of what the word buffer means and what the word buffer does not mean. Buffer does not mean this. You have done everything right. This is the part that sits in your chest like something swallowed wrong. You went to school. You got the degree. You moved to the city because the city was where the opportunity was, and opportunity was what the degree was for. You got a job, a real one, with a salary and health insurance, and a 401k contribution that you participate in because you read that you should, and you are the kind of person who does the things they read they should. You don't have a car payment because you don't have a car. You don't have a subscription you forgot to cancel because you audit your subscriptions the way a person audits subscriptions when $214 is a number they have seen before. You cook 4 nights a week. You take the subway. You make coffee at home in a French press you bought secondhand. And you have $214. The thing nobody says out loud, the thing that lives in the gap between the salary number and the life number, is that New York City does not care about your salary. New York City cares about your salary minus rent. And your salary minus rent is $2,150, which is the actual number your life runs on. $2,150 a month. $23,400 a year. That is the real number. The $67,000 is the number that sounds good at Thanksgiving. The $23,400 is the number that explains the $214. On Friday, the paycheck arrives. $2,050 after the 401k contribution and the health insurance premium and the federal and state and city taxes that New York City collects with the cheerful aggression of a landlord who also controls the government. You pay the MetroCard. You pay the Con Edison bill. You buy groceries with the focused efficiency of someone who has a list and respects the list. You transfer $200 to a savings account that currently contains $847, which represents approximately 4 days of New York City rent, which is not an emergency fund so much as an emergency suggestion. You are left with $631 for the next 2 weeks. $631 feels like abundance after $214. This is what adaptation looks like. This is what $67,000 in New York City actually feels like from the inside. Not poverty, not comfort, but the specific financial sensation of running at full capacity with no margin for the unexpected, which is also known as Tuesday. You put the phone down. You look at the 340 square feet. The radiator makes it sound. You have a coffee in a French press you bought secondhand. You go to work. Because the alternative is not going to work, which costs more than going to work, which is the final joke of the city that never sleeps. It never sleeps because it can't afford it. Neither can you. You go anyway.